Now let's talk about overriding the equals method in java.lang.object. Now this is the API documentation for java.lang.object. You realize that it is a very important class because it is the root of the class hierarchy, and every class has object as a superclass, indirectly or directly. A few methods are there which will make their way to every single class in Java, and I'm going to talk about. We have seen toString, correct? ToString returns a string representation, which is quite useless in most circumstances, and most classes will override toString to return a more useful, more descriptive string. What about equals? Now let's take a look at equals. This is the signature. It returns a boolean and it takes in an object. Uh, Look here. The equals method returns true if and only if x and y. Now x and y, x refers to the current object, y refers to the input parameter, okay, the object passed in. If x and y refer to the same object, okay, x equals y has the value true. That is, if x equals y returns true, then the equals method of object will return true. What does that mean? Now it means that, look at these two scenarios. Okay, first scenario, if a and b are both variables which refer to the same car object, which means that a stores the same value as b. Okay, this value is actually the location address where this same car object is stored. In this situation, a equals b will be true. A dot equals b will be true as well, and b dot equals a will be true as well. All right. Now, in this second scenario, whereby A stores the address of the first car object and B stores the address of a second car object, these are distinct cars. Okay, if this A equals B will return false, A dot equals B return false as well, B dot equals A return false. That is, if you do not override the equals method in car, okay, you are actually using the inherited method from object. Now, what do you mean by two cars are equal? You decide on what it means. All right. Let's assume that the business logic is that two cars are equal if they have the same. Let me save this file first, car.java. Let's assume a car has got two attributes, plate number and model number. And my business logic is that two cars are equal if they have the same plate number and model number. Alright, so what I can do in the car class is I'm going to override. Notice that I've already overridden the toString method to return the string which contains the plate number and model number, okay, which is more useful than that default uh, class name @sign followed by some gibberish stuff. Okay, I'm overriding the equals method, and I'm going to return true only if the current object's plate number and the current object's model number is the same as O's plate number and O's model number. But first I must check if O actually refers to a car. Alright, if O instance of car. If not, I will just return false immediately. Okay, if O is an instance of car, I'm sure that I'm now comparing two car objects. So O dot plate number, okay, is it the same as current plate number? And model number equals to O dot model number. If this is the case, return true. Okay, So this is my implementation of the equals method. I'm overriding the equals method in car so that it returns true if you pass in a car with the same plate number and model number. It does not matter if O is actually referring to the same car object as this. Okay, save it. Now in the test class, let's look at the main method. I'm creating two distinct car objects now. They have the same number plate and the same model number, and I'm trying to call c1.equals c2. Now in this case, let me save everything and compile. I'm expecting, okay, what is the, I missed out a semicolon. Which line is it again? Uh, line 11. Okay, line 11. Looks okay to me. Line 11, return plate number plus model number plus model number. The semicolon is here. Now let me check the compilation error again. Oh, I have an extra closing brace. Okay, why not I just... Yep, this should do the trick. Compile again, okay. Now I have another error. The error is cannot find symbol O dot plate no. You know what's the problem? Remember what we have covered just now? A very careless mistake I made. O is of type object. Alright, O is of type object. And even though O stores the address of a car, I cannot use O to retrieve the plate number. Okay, because O is of the wrong type. I forgot to do one thing. Cars. Car C equals to car O. And now I can make use of C to access the attribute plate number and attribute model number. Alright, save it. It's nice that we get to see these compilation errors. It's nice to do debugging together. Compile tests and let's run tests. It prints out true, which means that this method call returned true, which is exactly what I want as far as my business logic is concerned. Which means that I want c1.equals c2 to return true if both c1 and c2 refer to cars with the same number plate and model number. I do not care if c1 and c2 are referring to the same car object. So I have this situation now, situation number 2, okay, and this returns true now because of the way I overrode the equals method. As long as the plate number 1, 2, 3, 4, what plate number did I use? The plate number and the model numbers, both of them are the same. I want the equals method to return true because that is what I mean by equality as far as a car is concerned. So this is commonly done. Overriding the equals method is commonly done to determine what behavior, what do you mean by when two objects are equal. And that is also the reason, remember the first time you learned Java, we kept telling you that when you compare strings, do not use the double equal sign. Okay, use the dot equals method to compare strings. Why? When you compare S1 and S2, both are variables which store a string object. What exactly do you want to compare. Alright, if this first string contains a series of characters A, B, C, and the second string contains a series of characters A, B, and C, in this scenario, S1 double equals S2 will give you a false because S1 stores the address of the first string object, S2 stores the address of the second string object, and they are not the same address. So this will return false. But in most cases, when you compare strings, are you interested as to whether S1, S2 are referring to the same string object? Likely not. You are interested as to whether the strings stored at both addresses are being referred to by both variables. Do they have the same characters? In this case, you want this to return true. Now the equals method in the string class, not written by you, okay, the string class in the Java library, the equals method there has been overridden to return true, okay, if the series of characters in both string objects, okay, contain the same characters. And that is why we use the equals method in Java to compare strings and not the double equal sign. I hope that's clear now. So if necessary, override the equals method of your classes.